Hello and welcome to the 2020 Acura ILX A-Spec. This is the second midlife update of Acura's subcompact sedan. So in 2012, when the ILX debuted on that generations of Honda Civic, it was a fairly successful vehicle. In 2016, it went through a little bit of a revision, and then in 2019, we had this quite extensive exterior redesign. But unfortunately, this is still based on the previous Honda Civic platform. So what we're going to do is take this thing for a drive, but first of all, I want to break down the interior, and then at the end of this review, I'll place the ILX in my ranking system to tell you how I think it lies against its competitors and as a car overall. Before I get on the road, let's talk about the revisions that came for the 2019 ILX. First thing you're going to notice is the extensive redesign of the exterior. I think it looks great. It might actually be, to my eye, one of the best looking sedans on sale today. It certainly modernizes the ILX, tries to bring it up to snuff with the new RDX and the upcoming TLX, so it gets a little more of a brand identity, I suppose. Another big addition was the A-Spec package, which is something that hasn't existed in the ILX before. So much like the other Acura products, it changes around mostly cosmetic things, but we'll get a different wheel and tire package. What you see on this vehicle is 18-inch dark gray wheels with 225 by 40 high performance all-season tires. And other additions to the exterior include the deck lid spoiler, plenty of badges throughout, this A-Spec specific blue, which I think looks incredibly rich and really tasteful, but is all added into the interior, where with the ILX you'll get this red leather package, and on the seats you'll have ultra suede inserts that carries over into the back as well, and then a few other touches throughout, like A-Spec on the steering wheel and the red stitching on plenty of other parts of this vehicle. But I'm afraid those revisions aren't enough to make this vehicle feel competitive enough against many of its German competitors, and even vehicles that you wouldn't immediately cross-shop this car with. Going up against its obvious competition like BMW 2 Series Grand Coupe, Mercedes CLA, or Audi A3, I don't think there's anything in here that would lead it up to the competitive edge to go up against those vehicles. It's immediately, to me, disappointing. The ILX is front-wheel drive only, and everything else in this class, at the very least, has the option to go with all-wheel drive. So if you haven't guessed already, I think this vehicle is at a terrible disadvantage, but there are some good things to share, so let's get on the road and take this ILX for a proper drive. Before I do that, I'm sure you would agree with me that supporting small, locally run businesses is more important than ever. So that's why True Local is helping out with today's video. True Local is a Canadian-owned and operated company that delivers high-quality meat and many other products straight to your front door. On their website, you can find dozens of products from locally sourced producers that can be sent to your house on a regular basis. There's absolutely no commitment when it comes to True Local. You can pause, skip, or cancel your subscription at any time. And what they're offering in today's video is, if you're a brand new customer and you're buying your first box to be sent within Canada, you can get a pound of bacon added in for free. All you need to do is follow the link in the description down below and use the code that's on screen right now when you reach the checkout. If you want to find out more about their business, I highly recommend that you read through their websites of truelocal.ca or truelocalusa.com, so you can find out more of the relationships that they have with the farmers and how their products on their website are sourced. Now, let's get back to the video. So I'll start things off by addressing things that I like about the ILX. First off, I think it is quite a competent driving machine. The 8-speed dual clutch transmission in here works wonders in its automatic mode. It's always in the right gear, and I really wish that Honda or Acura would use it more in other applications, other cars. I think it could do quite well. And it's a competent enough driving vehicle where I feel a little bit of enthusiasm to want to push it up a bit of a mountain road. The bottom end of this engine, it's 201 horsepower, 2.4 litre, naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engine. It has a little bit of peppiness off the line, but because it only has 180 pound-feet of torque, the enthusiasm dies fairly early on in the rev range. The 10-speaker ELS sound system that's in this top trim model, I think is actually very impressive. It certainly punches above its weight class, but that's kind of where the good fortune towards this vehicle, at least in my opinion, ends. Because, like I've already mentioned, you can't get past the fact that this is a car very much out of its own time. It's a vehicle that feels like it's been resurrected where it should have been left for dead. There's good things going on in this cabin, like the sports seats and how we have some actually really tasteful leather and leather applications. It feels good and it at first looks good. But then you look at this dashboard and you just think, what is going on here? We've got two screens. The one above isn't a touchscreen. The one below is one that's in immediate reach, should have your Apple CarPlay so that you can quickly go from option to option. But instead you have to use this swivel wheel, which I don't hate because I'm pretty used to the swivel wheels in other manufacturers for use of Apple CarPlay and so on. But why does that have to be up there where this down here is only really showing you the exact same information that it would up there? Like when you have your music playing, it's showing up on your Apple CarPlay display, but then it's showing up on this display as well. This, to me, serves no purpose. You hit all these buttons below and it refers to the screen up above. So why give us extraneous information where this offers no purpose? It offers no real value. Other areas of the interior where it just feels poorly integrated include the vents on the passenger side. Those look like they were an afterthought. A few other things that drive me mad in here, even though you've got the A-Spec applications of the leather steering wheel, the leather shift knob. Look at this horrible, whatever this is, vinyl. I don't know what material this is, but it looks terrible. The material used outside of the seats is pretty bland. You've got soft plastics in most areas, but down below it's all just hard and scratchy plastics. The back seat space really doesn't offer anything for someone my height. So I'm going to get into a little more of a personal issue now, is that I don't fit in this car, and I never remember having this big of an issue in the last Civic that I tested out. Yeah, it didn't fit me perfectly, but look at how ridiculous this seating position is. I've almost got my arms totally stretched out to reach the steering wheel, which isn't the safest way to drive. The seat is leant back so far that I can just get my head underneath this roof liner. And because I'm leaning so far away and so far back, I can't actually look over the bonnet to see what's going on. And that's it, I'm afraid. Not much more constructive things I think I can deliver here. So there you have it. That's all of my thoughts towards the ILX, a vehicle that I think should have been laid to rest rather than let continue. I don't think it is a terrible vehicle, but I just think for what you're getting out of it, you should really have higher expectations out of your money. And I know that this is something that Acura is stressing with the ILX, is that it's a value play, and against all of its German competition, it is. But I just don't see this thing holding its value well at all. And comparing to how popular and how readily available Civics are, I think you could really get a better bang for your buck in one of those new Civics. The Civic Si, for example, the most expensive version of the sedan, comes with a more powerful, more economical engine, has a little bit more technology, and is a much newer product overall. So when it comes to this ILX, I'm afraid I'm putting it in the category of walk past. I wouldn't recommend this vehicle to any of my close friends or colleagues, and I probably wouldn't recommend it to you as well. In any given circumstance, Honda already builds a better version of this car, and it's called the Civic. So that's been everything from me. Thank you so much for sticking to the end of this video. If you have gotten this far, please like, share, subscribe, all of the rest of it. It really makes everything that I'm doing here worthwhile. Thanks a lot. Hope to see you again on the channel soon.